Hi, welcome back to the channel. Yesterday I was trying to do the same thing, but I had some issues with my mix table because it was in the beginning of this week. I had an update on the mix table and also on the software, so certainly no sound, and solved this problem, and now it's fixed, and hopefully it will stay like that for a long time. So thank you all for coming and visit the channel. Today we are going to talk about the Yamaha DX Reface. As you see in the picture here from the website from Yamaha, of course, this Reface it's one of the family of the refaces that Yamaha brought out. It has other refaces that also came out, most of all from classics. They are bringing out again, but in a modern version like this one here. And as you know, for those who follow me, that I'm a big fan of the DX7, of course. And so this is the same engine, but there are differences, but we won't talk about that later. So it's a reface of the DX7. They came out also before that with other refaces. The first one was the CS. It's an analog modeling synth. So this one, that was the first one here, the CS, white one. So that was the recreation of the CS models that Yamaha brought out. I think in the year in the 70s and begin the 80s, and after that also, I think. But certainly those I had before a CS model in my studio here, the CS5, and of course the famous CS80 was the top model of all those CS series. And they brought out this modeling synth. It's now, I think, for some years. It's it's not so new, this one here, the CS. Then, of course, the DX. Will we going talking about this today? Then also they brought a combo organ out. The YC is normally this one. So it's a modeling of those organ synths. And then they brought also the CP, that's the electric piano, e-piano, also very new in Yamaha. But now they brought also the DX version of the Reface out in the same color, almost, I think, of the DX, of course. That brownish color, brown, and mine is brown, so same thing. When you look at it, it's very nice done. With your volume knob here, pitch bender here left, small keys, of course, nice display with your settings here, and then of course different settings that you can choose with. When we are going to, that's the front of the synth. The most important difference between this one and the DX7 is that this one is just 4 oscillators. So you have 4 oscillators that you can modeling with each other, instead of the DX7 has 6 oscillators. And that's something I don't understand, why they didn't put here 6 oscillators, because it's digital, so it doesn't take some room. It's just software. So why just 4? I don't know why. So you cannot always create all those patches from the DX7 on this one if you have only 4. If you're using more than 4, then so that's a little bit pretty that they didn't choose to use the 6 oscillators instead of 4. But what interesting is also that's easy. You can easily change your patches here. It's not so difficult as on the DX7. So I find it a bit shameful that it didn't use 6 oscillators, so also you can tweak 6 oscillators together. Then you can use it also as a sort of a remote control for your DX7. So that's maybe a minus point for this reface. But most of all, I think also they will use for those patches on this one, but it's just a 4 oscillator FM synth, not a 6 like the DX7. Let's see. This is the Scream, of course. That here is your 4 oscillators. This one is your oscillator, and then a modulator, and another modulator. So you can the carrier is number 1, then 2 is your modulator, and you can change your settings here with those knobs, of course, on the left side. So you can change your frequency level, algorithms. You can choose only on between those 4. Of course, you don't have the 6 like on the DX7. And feedback, very important. That feedback, of course. What do you also have? Here is another same thing. Now it's the level. Before it was the frequency that you change. Then you can change the level. Then your algorithms, the different rhythms, the algorithms that you can choose between. And of course the feedback, which one do you want to feedback on itself. So you can feedback on the oscillator itself. That's very easy and very nice done to use this as a sort of changing your sound, creating a sound from scratch. That's nice done. So from behind, what do you have here? You have an USB. I think it's also MIDI, that USB, but I'm not sure if I'm wrong. Correct me, of course. Then you have here one MIDI, but it's MIDI in and out. In the same MIDI. I never saw that before. So you have one plug for in and out. That's what they say. So we can go through those features so you can see it. So MIDI in and out. Never saw that before. Then we have here your power supply. Nice that it has a separate power supply. Then you have the on and off knob. Very great, good sustain pedal. Then you have the left and right or mono. The original DX7 is Mofunic. So but here you have also stereo sound. Not as the original, of course, but it's better, of course, if you have the stereo sound. Of course, an phone outputs and then your aux, and you can put a sound in also. I don't know if I think it's for when you want to play with other sounds that you have that aux in. That's my opinion. I don't know if that it is, but I think it has to do with that. So if I go now to the website of this one here, first of all, price in this case here, $349. That means in more than 350 or 360 euro. That is euro. That is not so cheap for a small synth with small keys, with only 4 oscillators that can be used as a carrier or as a modulator. That's not so cheap. For this price, I buy me a DX7, maybe with some work on, but not a lot working order. Certainly it works with 61 keys, 6 oscillators, the original sound, with a separate pitch bend and a mod wheel, and also that vintage synth look. Instead of 300, and I think mine I paid less than 300. Yes, I had some work on, but it was not so expensive. So you can find them for less than 500 euros. And mint condition 400, 500, max 600 DX7. And if you have the Mark II, better. So that's, and of course, as all those who know my channel, there is also another synth like the Dexit plugin that sounds identical as the DX7, and that costs you 0. So, and it gives you more than this one. So, okay, nice to have that Reface portable. You can use it also, you can strap it like a guitar. A keytar. It's not a guitar, but a keytar. That's also a possibility. And then you use this one as your modulate. So modulating, I don't know. It's expensive synth for small keys and for something that you can have for less than that price. The one thing that I like about this synth is that's very hands-on and easy to create and change your patches. That you are not only gonna use it for the patches that you have, factory patches, but you can change your patches here easy, much easier than on a DX7. So that's going. Oh, it was not supposed to play. Excuse me. So let's see what we have here. With with FM sound engine, of course, frequency modulation. For those who don't know what it is, that means you use one sine wave as an oscillator, and then you take another oscillator with a sine wave, and you're gonna modulate the first sine wave with the second sine wave. So the first, we call it a carrier, and the second one who gonna modulate the first one is your operator. So modulator, excuse me, the carrier and a modulator. So it's that's how you change your sound, and you can also feedback on the modulator's carrier, or you can feedback on its own, that it will modulate itself again and again and again. So that's also 37 high Q mini action keys, 8 voice polyphony, switchable to monophonic mode. Then you have 4 carrier operator with feedback. So for operators, the one thing I don't understand, it's for operators, or is it for oscillators? If it's for operator, which each operator has a carrier, then it's more than the DX7. But I think 12 algorithms, so it's for operators or for oscillators, of course. And 12 algorithms, if you need more, we have more on the DX7, I think 16, I remember. I can count them from here, but there are lots more. So it's just for operator, that means for oscillator to use that as an operator, as a carrier. 12 algorithms, so less than the DX7, 32 voice memory locations, so you can have 32, same thing as on the DX7, of course. 7 effects, that's extra that you have. 2 can be used in parallel. I'm using always my mix table or my plugins as effect generator or external pedals for that, and I have found out that much better than the most effects on the synths are not always so fantastic. Then we have also the phrase looper, an LCD screen, that's a very nice one. Touch slide switch, so the switches that you can touch for changing your settings. 2 line outputs, 6.3 millimeter jack, unbalanced, of course. So always go to a DI if you want to use it for a gig. Aux inputs, also so big jacks for the line input. That's very nice to have that 6.3 millimeter jacks. And for the aux input, it's just 3.5. You don't need a big one in this case. Mini jack stereo. Headphones output, also mini jack stereo. that's normal. So nice that they choose the big one here. Certainly for live, can use it for live. Another positive thing about this synth, of course, it's small, it's portable, you can use it everywhere. When you have a DX7, it's very heavy. It's a very heavy synth. So to use it for a band live gig, it's better to have this one. Only take beware that you don't have that 6 operator oscillators in this case. Headphone output, of course, same USB input, but they don't mention if it's input for MIDI in and MIDI out, or just USB for patch changing. And I think it's also MIDI in and MIDI out. Why they do that here? Foot pedal inputs, that's always interesting to have a sustain pedal. The DX7 has separate pedals for sustain, for aftertouch, I think, and also for modeling. For modeling, yes. You have a MIDI in and out, MIDI DIN. So you have one. I never saw that. So for those who know, maybe that's the first time that I saw one DIN in and out in the same. So you don't have the in separately and out separately. One mini DIN for that. Now it's a mini DIN. It's not the normal DIN. So you must buy for that. Hopefully it will also be with it, so you can use it. Power supply, of course, connector to integrated loudspeakers. You don't need to have that on that synth. Use your headphones to dimension. That's all, and that's, I think, all for the features of the synth. MIDI interface, so in and out, and also USB. So you have also USB. That's most of all, I think everyone gonna use that USB. That's much easier to use, of course. 8 voices, some synthesizer, touch sensitive, yes. Split zone modulation. There is no modulation wheel on this synth, so you cannot have that modulation wheel. And also no aftertouch. That I have on my DX7, and it works. It works. So sound engine, of course, FM synths, storage medium, internal effects, one multiprocessor, a number of analog output, one, of course, and display, of course, yes. Is there more? Pedal connection, one. So maybe you can use that pedal for your modulation, and the other one is our pitch wheel. So you have a pitch wheel to use it, and a pedal for modulation. I hope so you can use that pedal for modulation, like I do with my DX7. I have that also on my DX7. I can modulate with my pedal instead of my modulation wheel, mod wheel. But it's here we have another. If you can. If you have a Yamaha Reface DX with a DX receiver, but it costs you €316 for this small synth with some interesting features, but also other things that I don't like about this. I don't know what your opinion is. Feel free to share it in the comments or here in the chat, of course. For those who just came in, welcome to the live stream, and also welcome to the channel. And don't forget to leave a comment in the chat or just say hello. And also, always nice to leave your opinion, of course, about this small DX Reface synth that Yamaha brought out. So if you go to that Yamaha channel, this page, these are the 4 synths. DX, then we have, of course, the CP, and then the CS, and also the YC. And that's the DX synth. For the rest, there was not so much to say on this synth. Just it's nice looking synth, and more You can also go to the webpage of Yamaha to discover the sound if you want. And also in this case, I'm using Thomann because that's the one that I'm using always when I buy something. Most of all on Thomann. There are others, of course, but this one, I'm glad to use this always as my when I buy something new. And that doesn't happen a lot because lots of my gear here is secondhand and not new. So that was just a very short overview, opinion, or just a review on the DX7 Reface model that Yamaha brought out. And to be honest, it's a nice looking synth. And I think for the guys who use those, or musicians who use this, you want to use a synth for live, I think this one is a very nice option to have that analog sound with you, without to use a computer or laptop or something, just to have it there. Certainly those root sounds and organ sounds, they can reproduce them very nicely. So certainly for live, I think it's a very nice instrument. For in the studio, there are much better options for that and cheaper than this. So use it. I think it will be used more for live than for in the studio, in my opinion. So nice synths, and feel free to leave your opinion. I'm curious about yours, of course. And if you have one of those synths, also share your opinion about those synths and your experience, of course. We can learn always something if others has all those instruments, so we can also, before we buy something, to have an idea what we are buying, of course. So thank you all for those who came into the live stream and also for the visit. Tomorrow it will be another live stream, but tomorrow it will be my second video on my Model 32 and on the Broken Mini comparison about analog versus plugin, a free plugin. I did one. You can choose. You can go to my channel and watch that video. But then tomorrow I'll be do the second one, diving more and creating other patches, not only one. So just to compare those two, analog versus the real thing, of course. So that was it for today. Thank you all for the visit. Thank you all for maybe the likes, and don't forget, of course, to subscribe to the channel. We will see each other later, and take care and goodbye.